Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Real Reds Talk. This is your Brighton preview, our first game of the season at Old Trafford. And we're coming into this game with some fresh injury concerns, and let's be honest, still massive concerns in the transfer window, unfortunately. As you can see, today I'm joined by Mr. Sam McCabe. Are we happy Premier League football's back, Sam?
Oh, mate, so happy. So much. Like, it's every weekend, like, it's so you just like, because there's supposed to be a tournament on this summer, and now it's been moved to winter, so you're just like,
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with myself. Like, most weekends, no football to watch. So, yeah, very happy that it's all back.
Yeah, and Liverpool drew today as well.
I mean, I was going to get into that later, but yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, good stuff, good stuff. I'm also joined by the pride of India, Mr. Shreyas Singh. Same question, really, Shreyas. Excited? Football's back?
Yeah, definitely, because I was actually missing out to something to actually watch something fun on the weekends, and it was quite some time now that we actually had the season going on, so we needed something to actually keep us alive as well at the weekends, because it got so boring after because the transfer window hasn't really been that exciting for us either, so we need something to actually kick us on as well.
Yeah, exactly. And also, if you're excited as we are to sink our teeth into this preview, then smash a like on the video and hit that subscribe button. Maybe we can hit 350 before United actually kick a ball tomorrow, so that'd be amazing for the channel. Let's see what happens with that. Now, as it is a preview, guys, I think you know what's coming. The usual brain teaser. So I've got a couple of questions for you guys and people in the chat as well. Make sure you get involved, get your thinking hats on. So, the question I have for you both. Last season, we played Brighton twice, home and away, of course. But what I want to know is the scoreline of both games and the goal scorers. And let's see if you can do it as a collective.
Yeah.
So, first game, Manchester United at home.
I only know the last one. We got tanned at the Amex. I know that one.
Is that the one that's negative things always stick in your brain?
I remember.
That depressing memory stuck in my head. I can't remember the Old Trafford one. I can't remember it. So Shreyas, you'll have to do that one.
At Old Trafford, it was 2-0 with Ronaldo scoring. And
very good goal as well. Ronaldo's goal, do you remember? An individual one, just belted it in. Yeah, and then Bruno scored right at the end, and he did like a bit of a dummy, and then finished against the keeper. So the 4-0 at Brighton. Can you remember the goal scorers?
Against Brighton.
Remember, I'll give you a clue for one of them. One of the players we were supposed to sign.
Oh, the Casido, the midfielder. Yeah, I remember that. He's a United fan as well, which is annoying. Yeah. It's annoying.
Yeah. We could have got him for like 5 million, I think it was, or something like
ridiculous.
That. People in the chat, if you can think, if you remember back to cast your mind back to them games, let us know who were the goal scorers were, if you can remember.
Did Cucurella score? Cucurella scored,
Trossard
scored one. There's one more.
Was there an own goal?
No.
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 It wasn't Danny Welbeck, was it?
No, it wasn't Welbeck. I think he hit the bar, actually.
Oh, shit, yeah, he did,
Welbeck.
I don't know.
I can't remember the name. I remember the face.
Malpe? Is it Mope?
Last name, it's... No. It was something with G. I can't just remember what the name was.
I think it's Gross. It's Gross.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, 4-0 at Brighton's ground, unfortunately. That is a memory that sticks in our head.
It was horrible.
What a shit game that was. Let's hope we don't get a similar result tomorrow.
Yeah.
Now, looking towards the first official game of the season. Again, smash a like on the video for that. I think it deserves it. We play a Brighton team who in pre-season have won 3, drew 1 and lost 1. Brentford being the only real test in that run of fixtures, and that was the only game they lost in the run. As discussed in the brain teaser before, obviously against Brighton as like a head-to-head, they won 1, we won 1 last season, but in general, as an overall, we've had the better of them on most occasions. Bring it back to the present, and we're coming into this one with some negatives. Our only proper fit number 9, Anthony Martial, who looks very promising pre-season. I think you guys can agree with that. Has now got a hamstring injury, so potential panic stations in that department. There's rumours Lindelof might be out for a few weeks. I'm not sure how true they are, and we don't know if Sancho is still ill or if he's going to be 100% coming into this game. So a few concerns there. However, a few positives. Eric Ten Hag has said Christian Eriksen and Lisandro Martinez are available to play for the full 90 minutes if needed. So, yeah, I suppose that's a positive. Sam, welcome to the preview. I know when we did the big season preview on Thursday, make sure you guys check that out if you haven't seen it already. lots of stuff involved in that one. You said you expected a draw against Brighton.
Yeah.
If Cristiano was to start tomorrow, let's say Eriksen as well and Lisandro, does that change your confidence or does that change your opinion at all?
Just on that preview, Sevilla had a bit about Mitrovic, and he's just been proven wrong on the first day. So go back and check that out just for that clip, because I'm sure Sevilla's shaking his head at this point. Ronaldo, I don't doubt his quality. I don't doubt he probably would score for us if he does play. But is his head there? Is he 100% there? I don't think he is. Is he 100% match fit? I don't think he is. Obviously, he's in phenomenal shape. It's Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't think he ever gets out of shape. Like, he doesn't drink Coke. He doesn't have dessert. Like, this is the guy. Like, he's just completely 100% on it all the time, every day. So I don't think he's out of shape. But match fitness is obviously a different thing. You can't practice that unless you're playing games in, games out every week. So I don't think he's match fit. And I don't think his head's right either. I think obviously he wants out. He doesn't want to be here necessarily. Obviously he's a professional. So if called upon, I'm sure he will play. I'm sure he will try. But football is slim margins. So if you're 0.5% off or percentage off, it's a lot in Premier League football. And it doesn't take a lot to give your sort of... If you're not giving everything and the other team is, 9 times out of 10 you're going to lose, even if you have the superior quality. Like, we know Brighton works hard. They're great as a unit. They've not necessarily got the individual quality, but as a unit they're fantastic. And if our players are not 100% on it, could cost us, especially in front of goal, where we've been traditionally poor last season, Ronaldo aside. So I'm not more confident, but I'm not less confident either, if that makes sense. I'm probably at the same level.
Still balanced.
Yeah, still balanced. Just for you move on, I'll just get up a couple of comments. A lot of love for Shreyas in the chat. As always, Shreyas FC representing. Shania, Brighton is a good side, very competitive. Mitrovic, I can't do his name. Mitrovic first for Golden Boot right now. Well, yeah, he's the only team that's played. So,
he's definitely in the running. But it's a long season. So.
But not more confident, but not less confident at the same time.
Okay, interesting. Make sure you give us your opinions as well, guys. I want everyone to get in the chat on this one and let me know what you think. Is it Shreyas who mentioned Brighton then in the comment? Sorry if I get your name wrong, Shreyas. She mentioned Brighton there, Shreyas, and she actually led me on to a question I was going to ask you. What do you like about Brighton under Graham Potter, and do you think he's currently overachieving with the squad that he's got?
I think when you look at that Brighton side, the best thing about them is that they're a system team. Every player in there, whenever you're coming up against Brighton, you can't compare any of their players with the opposing team, because the performance never really matters on the quality that they individually offer. It matters most as to how they are, able to fit the system and complement the team as a whole. Because even if you have to look at players like Cucurella who've left now, but last season, you can't, pull them up against someone like a Joao Cancelo, or I would even say players like Walker Peters or something like that, because these players, they have something which they offer individually to the team. Cucurella is one of those players who actually, was a perfect mold for Graham Potter in that left back position. He was very, very agile, had good passing ability on him, had good, instincts on the ball as well, I would say. And for every Brighton player, I would say that, they're very sharp. They have their mind already, they pretty much know what their next move is going to be when they're with the ball. And that's why Graham Potter, I guess, the heights that he's reached with this Brighton side, it is because all of their players, they're on the same page, and they don't play out of their way to do something else. They stick to their plan, they stick to the system, and they stick to their play. Because of which they did very, very well against, I would say, teams like Chelsea as well last season. They were very competitive, very aggressive as well, I would say. And another thing was that they were very, very physical in their midfield. Whenever they lost the ball, their midfield used to pounce on the player. They never used to, allow any space. And that is one of the reasons why, Bissouma was able to shine so much under Graham Potter. He was very physical, and he was given the license to actually, show off his true skills, which is his physicality in that Brighton side. With Graham Potter, I would say he hasn't yet been able to, he has created a lot of gems in that squad, like Cucurella, Bissouma. I would even say Lamptey is a gem in that squad, but he's lost two very, very, precious players to him in that system. And I don't know if the players who he has got right now can fit into that squad and do that role very well. But you never know, because Graham Potter can, he can pull out something completely out of the book, and you never know, maybe there's something different to the Brighton side that might play this year, because last year they used to actually tweak around with their formations a lot as well. You could see back five, sometimes you could see a diamond, sometimes you could see
Very
a traditional
versatile, aren't they?
4-4-2. Yeah, pretty versatile. So you never know, maybe Graham Potter has something completely different in his playbook for this season, because he's lost Cucurella and Bissouma, who were
Yeah.
pretty much the rocks in his system. So I think this season would be a big test for Graham Potter, because if he succeeds this season, then he can be put into the conversation as one of those managers who's ready to take the next step to a big
Yeah.
club.
I
Right now
think
he's doing good what he has, but this is the testing season for him.
Yeah, I think even last season he was punching above the weight with the players that they
Yeah,
had with Cucurella and Basuma. So losing them and not really replacing them is going to be even more of a difficult task. Could I just say as well, getting Cucurella, selling Cucurella and Ben White for 110 million is a fucking madness. By the way, getting that much money for them is insane. Because I thought Ben White yesterday looked, I know he was playing in right back, but looked pretty fucking average. So 50 million is a
yeah.
steal for him. And Cucurella's a good player, but like 60 million for Cucurella, like that's a lot of fucking money. Sam, your mic's on mute. Mic's on mute.
Sorry. It makes you wonder why they let Basuma go for so cheap.
Yeah.
Like, you think they could have
they
could have got like 40, 45 million for him maybe if Cucurella's gone for 70 million. Like, you'd think they'd get some more for him. It's strange.
Yeah, because I would say Basuma's worth 40, 50 million. Easy.
Yeah.
Easy.
Yeah.
He was quality last season.
If United,
especially in that Chelsea game that you mentioned, then Shreyas, he was quality. In
if
that
United would have come in for him, he would have been.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. United.
So.
80 million.
Yeah, 80 million. Now, a question for both of you: judging from what you have seen in pre-season from United, the way Ten Hag wants to set up, do you think we'll dominate possession in tomorrow's game? Obviously, Brighton are at home. It's the first home game of the season. The fans will be behind them, I imagine, and they're not bad on the ball themselves. How do you see it playing out? Will it be 50-50, or do you think we'll kind of override them with our authority?
Do you want me to go first?
Anyone?
Yeah. I think we're being at home. Obviously, Ten Hag. We're at home, aren't we, at Old Trafford?
Oh shit! Yeah, we're at home.
Yeah.
We're.
I was going to say you were saying Brighton home. I was just like, are we?
Yeah.
I thought.
I don't know why I was saying away.
Sorry.
Yeah, go on.
So yeah, we're at home, Old Trafford. Obviously, Ten Hag's style of football is possession based. He wants to have lots of the ball. He wants to control the game. So we've seen it in pre-season. The games that we have played, that's the style he's gone with. Even against Liverpool, same system. Like, I think a lot of people have said he doesn't have a plan B. This is the way he plays and that's it. And then they've used it to criticise him. But I think Klopp's the same way. Klopp doesn't have a plan B. He plays the way he plays and that's it. You either adapt to his system or you don't play. That's the way it is. And hopefully Ten Hag's the same way. So I think, we'll see a lot of possession. I think we'll see some good passing. Hopefully no sideways, backwards passing, because that was the bane of my life last season. Is just seeing players passing backwards, passing sideways, hiding from the ball, not opening themselves up, giving themselves up.
Sorry to quick in, Sam. Hopefully Ericsson will come into that, won't he? I think he'll change that dynamic a little bit if he starts over McTominay.
Sure. But I think Lisandro Martinez, we saw in his short appearance, he was very willing to do that as well. Hopefully Scott McTominay doesn't play. We'll get on to team predictions later. Hopefully he doesn't play, because I think he's the worst at it, especially hiding and not giving an option. I think he's the worst at that. So hopefully with the team selection, he's able to do that. Obviously, we're a bit limited in terms of the players that we brought in, and players that are available. Like we said, Martial, and questions over Sancho and stuff like that. So I think, possession based. I think Brighton will set up to defend well and then hit us on the counter. I think that's how they're going to play. I think you'll probably see a back five from Brighton. So we're going to be finding it hard to break it down. They don't traditionally do a low block, Brighton, but I think you're going to see as close to it as you're probably going to get. I don't think you're going to see like a Burnley where it's like 10 men behind the ball and then you just stick Weghorst up front.
You get numbers back very quickly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're very quick, very fit system. Like Shreyas said, I think Graham Potter could play any system, and those players know exactly what to do. They're so well drilled and so well coached. So I don't think it matters what system he plays. They know what they're doing. So yeah, I expect to see a lot of possession. Expect to see his attack quite well, because again, that's what Ten Hag likes to do. I'd like to see Malacia and Rashford on that left side develop a relationship. I'd like to see Dalot and Sancho develop a relationship on the right hand side. Full backs overlapping, inverted, all that sort of stuff. I want to see all the stuff that Ten Hag has talked about and he's known for. I want to see the sort of starting beginnings of it in this match.
Yeah. Just a quick update for you guys. I'm just looking at there's obviously 4 games going on right now. Aston Villa are losing to Bournemouth 1-0. Tottenham are losing to Southampton 1-0. And Wolves are beating Leeds 1-0. So that's 15 minutes in just a few games.
All good news for us, isn't it?
All good news, yeah. All good news so far. Conte having a bit of a difficult start there. Ward-Prowse has scored as well, so I imagine it's a free kick or something.
It must be.
Yeah. Shreyas, going back to the question I just mentioned and to Sam, similar question again, I suppose. Tactically, tomorrow, do you see us overriding Brighton with possession? Or do you think it'd be more 50-50?
I think it clearly has to do with what squad he actually picks, because there's 2 sides to actually, how the game tomorrow can actually play out for us. If I have, the squad that I have in mind and what I actually want Ten Hag to pick, I think if he picks that, we could easily have, much more possession than Brighton, and could be, dictating the play for most of the 90 minutes. But considering the injuries we've had, considering some of our players are not really up to full fitness, I think what could happen could be that for 55 to 60 minutes we could be in the driving seat in the game, but after, like, I would say the 60 or 65th minute mark, I think Brighton could claw their way back into it. I don't know whether they'll be able to snatch a win or with that, but I think at least in the final 30 it could get more competitive.
Yeah, I agree with that assessment 100%. I mentioned before the preseason that Brighton had, looking at the results kind of individually, they beat Espanyol 5-1, lost to Brentford 1-0, beat Reading 2-1. They beat a team called I can't even pronounce it, Estroy Parei or something. They beat them 4-1, and then they drew 0-0 with Union Saint Galles, whoever they are as well. Sorry, I've never heard of this. They scored 11 goals and conceded 4 against pretty poor opposition. Now, usually, obviously, I'd go off the Premier League form, but the only games that have been going on the past month are pre-season games, so that's what I've had to look at. They're not a team, as we mentioned just then, who stand out individually. They had star quality, obviously, in Basuma, who we mentioned, and Cucurella as well, have both been snapped up by Spurs and Chelsea. They've also, not really brought anyone in. Like, I think, Sam, you mentioned one of them, but I don't know. I've never heard of the players themselves, so I don't know if they're, if they've got quality or if they're any good. There was one from Ajax, did you mention? One of the
no, he's played for Ajax under Ten Hag, but I don't know where they got him from. I'd have to let me look it up. Let me have a look.
Yeah, it's cool. But they play a nice brand of football. They like to attack the wide channels, get crosses into the box, especially with the wing backs. So, personally, I think Dalot and Malacia, or Shaw, if he starts, will have to be on their absolute A game tomorrow. They're going to be dealing with a lot of offence on that side. They're also very good on the ball, can take it under pressure and have intelligent off-the-ball runners to complement the system. That is Brighton, basically, in a nutshell. Neil Maupay was their top goal scorer last season with 9 goals. He can be hit and miss at times. He's inconsistent. Let's hope it's a miss tomorrow, but we still have players like Trossard who are very tricky customers. Like, with the ball at his feet, he can 1v1. He's very dangerous. And Danny Welbeck, Sam's favourite player as well. I imagine he'll probably be starting tomorrow, who's always ready to prove a point. Sam, obviously, Basuma, Cucurella, massive loss for Brighton. Is there anyone else individually in that team who impresses you? I know I mentioned Danny Welbeck there. There's a bit of bit of banter with that. Yeah. But genuinely, in that team individually, is there anyone who impresses you?
So the player they signed, he was from Norderschland. God, don't know what that team. Simon Adringa. Apparently he was in the Ajax academy, or he was in Ajax reserves or something like that. So Ten Hag did work with him at some point. They've also brought in Levi Colwill from Chelsea on loan.
Yeah.
The young.
That's not a bad move.
Yeah, he's a centre back, I believe. So yeah, that might be.
Oh, he was
good
part of the Cucurella deal, I think.
Oh, is that what they loaned him back?
Yeah.
I think this loaned him. Yeah.
Yeah, so that could be a good signing there, especially on loan. Yeah, I think Welbeck aside, obviously one of the great strikers that ever played for Man United. Scored in the Bernabeu, just putting it out there in the Champions League. Just saying. Yeah, Danny Welbeck aside, I think they're better. Like we said, the best players have gone. Cucurella and Basuma, I think they've gone. But I think I've sang Tariq Lamptey's praises on this channel for so long. I think he's a fantastic fullback. I think he's strong, he's quick, young, can defend, he's good at attacking. I think we could do a lot worse than sign him as either a backup or a competition to Dalot. Obviously, it'd cost us a fortune probably because he's English and it's a Premier League team and it's United, so it'd probably end up costing us about 60, 70 million, something ridiculous like that, even though he's probably only worth about 30. So yeah, I think Tariq Lamptey is very talented. I think they did have, who's the guy we mentioned at the beginning, the midfielder, who's United fan? Caicedo. I think he's very good as well. I think he's got some qualities.
Looks promising.
I think obviously we were interested in him for a reason. He must have something, so otherwise why else would we be interested in him? So I think he's got some quality as well. So I think, yeah, they're the sort of players I'd watch out for would be Caicedo and Tariq Lamptey. I think they're my two sort of standouts when I look at that team. Obviously, Lamptey's had a few injuries over the last sort of few months and stuff. He's been a bit unreliable, which is a shame because I would have loved to see more of him. And I think he would have got an England call-up. If he'd been regular and fit all the time, I think he might have got a chance because we're quite short in the right. We've got loads of left-back options, but right-back we're a bit short. So because we got Reece James.
England are short for right.
We got Reece James and Trippier.
And Trent as well. Don't forget about Trent.
Yeah, but Southgate doesn't seem to like him, does he? He plays him as like a wing back and a midfielder at times.
I agree with the point that if Lamptey was consistently playing, he would have definitely got a chance because you've had players like Walker Peters, I think as well, who have had chances in there. You've had other players get a chance, so he definitely deserves a chance from seeing his ability alone. I think in that wing back position, especially because sometimes Southgate plays a back five.
Exactly.
He switches the system up, so Lamptey could look impressive.
Because we've seen Saka play there as well. Like we've seen Saka play at wing back as well, and you think surely Saka's better forward, like attack in the attack position. Like, and then if you had someone like Lamptey, might be a better option. But yeah, it's just his injury thing that sort of puts me off a little bit of United fully going all in for him because the last thing we need is more injury-prone defenders. Don't need any more of those.
And I think Lamptey is someone who'd be looking at the World Cup as well with an outside chance and desperate to play there. Let's see what happens with that. Another player looking for World Cup time on the pitch would be Donny van de Beek, Shreyas. Do you see anyone like that, or maybe a youngster as well, like a Garnacho in contention? I know they announced before that Garnacho and another player, I can't remember who it was, hasn't been announced for the game today against Arsenal. Zidane Iqbal, yeah. Not Zinedine Zidane.
No.
Them two players may have a chance to be in contention tomorrow. Do you think that's an acceptable thing? Do you think they could get in?
I don't think so. The only reason is after the Antony deal broke down, I thought maybe Erik ten Hag, he might be potentially looking at the youth academy, at the youth squad to, actually bring in someone who could be a good backup and probably get some minutes as well, get some experience and, make a case for themselves to be in the first squad. Maybe he's able to polish some of the raw potential players that we have. But there have been rumors that he's still looking for a winger. He's still in search for someone who could actually, come in, provide some competition in there, and is not someone who's fairly, like just coming onto the scene, like you mentioned, Zidane Iqbal as well as Alejandro Garnacho. I think the most that could happen could be that we could see Jimmy Garner probably being included because except him, no one really, and I haven't really seen any of our attackers, be it Ahmad, be it Alejandro Garnacho, or anyone who's featured for us, I would say.
Don't get Nick
actually,
excited. Nick will get very excited you mention Ahmad.
I haven't seen someone actually coming out, like Ten Hag actually coming out and, probably cementing his trust in that player for this season. because there have been rumors that he probably wants Ziyech, he probably wants this
Fuck
someone called
Ziyech.
Gakpo.
Sorry,
Yeah,
just to throw it out there, I do not want Ziyech. I do not want him.
yeah,
Sorry.
but I think these rumors itself, I would say, it confirms that Ten Hag still is potentially looking for an attacking player.
I think
He's
it's
not.
just it's the old Ajax Dutch connection thing again, isn't it? Like that's what it is.
But is that not worrying, Shreyas? Add a point onto this as well if you can. The fact that we're relying on Ten Hag players who he's worked with or played against in the market because we haven't got a decent scouting system ourselves. Like surely that's worrying, right?
Yeah, definitely. Because the good thing before Ten Hag came in was we at least had some players that we were keeping an eye out on. But after Ten Hag has come in, we've been just, I would say, so stagnant in the transfer market. Except for the Malaysia deal, we haven't really been making any swift moves. The Ericsson deal itself took us probably 3 weeks, even though the verbal agreement was pretty much there. It just took us 3 weeks to get the medical and contract signed. With Lisandro Martinez as well, there was quite a layoff. At first because of Arsenal, but after Arsenal as well, even when things were pretty much sorted, it still took us a buffer to actually get him to sign the contract, and we've been stuck on a mega Frankie De Jong deal for about 2.5 months now, and because of that, we haven't really been been able to actually keep an eye out on some potential players who could actually impact the squad. Like we've seen pretty much all the top six sides do good business. We've seen them, be swift with their business as well, so that they can incorporate these new signings in the preseason and get them to full speed with the starting 11 as well. So for us, it's been really slow, especially the way we've conducted ourselves. Because I think for us, the smarter thing would have been, even if we did want De Jong, we could have at least gone for, we could have at least keep something else running in, behind the scenes, even if it had to be an Anthony, even if it had to be someone else. I would say we invested so much time, so much money, and so much attention on one deal itself that our overall squad has been suffering a lot because of it.
Yeah.
Because at the start of this window, if as good as Dalot is and as good as he can be, we still need depth. Dalot cannot play every single game for us. We still need someone to actually come in.
It's
So
scary,
at
isn't
the
it, the
start,
thought of Wan-Bissaka potentially starting the
yeah,
game like under
definitely,
Ten Hag.
definitely. And at the start of this window, we were looking for a centre back, we were looking for a right back, we were looking for a CDM,
Whole
a
team,
central midfielder as well,
basically.
a
Yeah.
striker as well as a winger. So that's 6 spots, and till now we signed Martinez, we signed Ericsson, we signed Malaysia. So
We've
Malaysia is a left back.
we've arguably signed players that we were in desperate need of. Like we didn't
Exactly.
really need a number 10. Like Bruno was there, we had Donny who could play there. We didn't really need a 10, and we got Ericsson in. Left back, we had Tellez and Shaw, obviously questionable. Like they say, didn't really need a left back. Brandon Williams is there as well. We signed a left back. Centre back, we've got 5 of them. Didn't need a centre back really, in terms of like squad depth, and we signed a centre back, and it's just like we got this gaping hole in the midfield. Not signed a single one. Gaping hole up front. Not signed a striker. Gaping hole at right back. Not signed one. It's surreal business. Surreal.
Yeah. And I think the biggest worry is that I think every Manchester United fan at this point knows when we are actually, seriously considering an offer for a player. We know when, the scouts as well as our management is working towards to get a player. And it has happened so many times, I would say, in this window itself, that we've gone in for a player, he gets snatched up by someone else, and after that we actually put it out in a way that we were never in the running for the player in the first place. Like Darwin Núñez got snatched up, Tchouaméni got snatched up. Before Ten Hag came in, we were considering an offer for Nkunku as well, about 65 to 70 million. But the moment he came in, we redirected our approach straight to Frankie De Jong. Nkunku signed a new contract, and his value, his release clause is now at 100 million.
Apparently, we weren't even looking at Nkunku because fucking Ragnick was like, "Oh, have you got a profile on this player?" And they went, "Yeah, we don't even know. Don't have it."
Yeah.
So David scout him.
Yeah.
So
Is it? Yeah.
But let's.
So I think the more that we've, I think it just again, even with this new regime that has come in, even with this new, I would say, staff that they've appointed, it's really, really slow. Considering the position we are in and the position we strive to be in, it's nowhere near good enough. Because I think for us to have one good window, it takes us about 3 windows to
Yeah.
actually get all of those players in.
Yeah, it's been an absolute mess again, and it with the transfer window. We could do a full show about that because it's been awful. Nothing's changed. It's the same. It feels like it's the exact same regime going on, and we're taking the exact same amount of time to do deals. But
Yeah,
yeah, we could speak about that on another show. Bringing it slightly back to Brighton. Gone off a little bit of a tangent there. I have to ask about Cristiano Ronaldo. It's obviously a massive topic point at the minute that's been going back and forth with a lot of fans dividing the fan base. Apparently, he's been on fire in training. He's looking really good. He's a lot of people reporting that he's fully fit to start. Not sure how hungry he is himself to start. Not sure where his true desires lie. But if you just make a prediction for tomorrow, what lies in store for Cristiano, this is for both of you. Sam, you can go first if you want. What do you think happens?
Everybody seems to think he's going to start because I think it would have been easier for Ten Hag had Anthony Martial been fit. It would have made his decision easier because obviously Martial's played well in pre-season. Cristiano hasn't played at all. So it would have made Ten Hag go, look, he'd have a reason then to bench Cristiano or not play him because it's like, Martial's playing well and you've not played. So he'd have his reason.
I think that'd be a massive statement if he did that, Sam.
I don't think, not
he's there tomorrow.
I
Rashford up top instead.
Well, this is what I'm getting onto. So obviously if Martial was fit, I don't think many people would have an issue with it, would there? A lot of people would be like, well, yeah, he's played well. He's not played, so people would be fine with it. This is where it's going to be tricky now because he's in desperate need of a striker because of our poor transfer business. I mean, they've not brought anybody in. We have no depth there whatsoever. So your three options are play Rashford in the number 9, and we've seen what happens there. It doesn't work. He's not a striker number 9 because of his decision making, his hesitation sometimes and stuff. That's not what you need from a striker. You need a striker to be instinctive, make a decision and do it.
Killer.
And he's not. That's not Rashford, I'm afraid. And then your other option is you play one of the young lads like Garnacho or Charlie McNeil, someone like that. And I think that's unfair to throw him in at the deep end at Brighton, first game of the season, Ten Hag's first Premier League game. I don't think that's fair to them. So he's kind of left with the only options he's got to do is pick Ronaldo because he wants to make a statement. He wants to win his first game, obviously. He wants to win all games, but you want to win your first game, make a statement, and you've got arguably the best goal scorer of all time in your squad, saying he's fit. If he doesn't pick him, I think that's a power move. He's making a statement and he's saying, this is my squad. I don't care how good you are or who you are. This is my squad and I'll pick what I feel like. If he does pick him, it's risky. It's definitely risky, but I'd respect it. I'd back him, respect him 100% for it. But if he doesn't pick him, then he's going to get critics, isn't he? People are going to criticize him. You've got the best goal scorer and everything, but why are you not picking him? You're in a desperate...
Either way.
He's damned if he's damned if he do, he's damned if he don't. So it is what it is for him, unfortunately. He has to just make a decision what he thinks is best for his squad and his team, and stick with it. So whatever he decides, I back him, and let's go with that. Me personally, I wouldn't pick Ronaldo because of the way he's behaved and the things he's been doing and stuff. I wouldn't pick him. But it's Ten Hag's decision at the end of the day. Whatever he says, I'll back it. I'll back it 100%.
Yeah, can't wait to see what happens when that lineup comes out tomorrow. Shreyas, I think Ronaldo could probably play 45 minutes, maybe push into 60 minutes personally. With that in mind, would you play him the first half and then maybe put Rashford to the middle, bring Elanga on or something? Or would you bring him on in the second half when Brighton legs are tired maybe or something?
I think for me, the first and foremost thing would be that both the manager as well as the player, they need to get on the same page. They need to, at least establish the boundary lines as to what's going on, because the more the rumors surround us, the worse it would be for not just the manager, but I would say for the other players in the dressing room as well, because it is going to affect the overall morale of the team. Because I think even the team at this moment doesn't really know what the situation is, and the more unclear it gets, the more rumors get out, and the more the journalists like how they like to swerve some stories around. And right now, I think what we want is more clarity, at least from the manager. And I still believe that if things are able to get sorted between the two, we could be looking at a completely different algorithm and in our side altogether. But considering that, I think for me, I would start Ronaldo. The only reason being, I don't really see Marcus Rashford being played once again as that number 9.
Hope not.
And I would say for us right now, these 3 points are really, really important. First home game of the season. We've got a tough run of games after that coming in as well. And the most important thing is our third game is against Liverpool. We saw them today. Even though Fulham gave him one hell of a game, it they did show what they can do in just a blink of an eye. And with United, I think the most important thing is we need to build momentum up until the Liverpool game. If we don't put out a good performance tomorrow, it is going to take us time to build momentum, and that is one of the big reasons why I would start Ronaldo in that squad tomorrow. For him to play the 45 to 60, I think it depends more on how the game progresses, whether it's a scrappy game, whether it's an end-to-end game, or whether it's a free-flowing game where you can see
Yeah.
the ball being moved around a lot. We are creating more chances and maintaining more possession. In that way, I could see him playing out for the full 90 as well. Because the only question is how with Ronaldo is how how much time he is actually spent with the squad and how comfortable he is playing with the full 11 behind him, because his physical fitness is never a question. I still believe that even though he's not had that much time, he can pull out a full 90 if he wants, if he actually pull out the grind for us. But still, I think at least for 50 or 60 minutes we do need Ronaldo tomorrow, because with Martial being out, we actually need a target man in that lineup tomorrow. If we don't have it, it could be another one of those scenarios where we end up creating loads of chances but aren't able to finish even a single one of them.
I feel like Rashford, if he was to start as a 9, he'd be isolated. The way Brighton play with that back five,
Yeah.
got 3 centre backs. And they can sit back. I don't see him getting in behind at all, unless it's on like a transition, and we don't have midfielders necessarily at the minute to like a De Jong who can just
Yeah,
turn over.
definitely.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So,
Yeah.
I did enjoy the press conference yesterday when Simon Peach asked Ten Hag about Ronaldo, and he was just like, "What's your question? What's your point?" And
Do
he
you
just started,
do
like,
your
sorting
research?
Yeah, he was like, "Do your research?" And Simon Peach was like, "Well, I was just about Cristiano," and he's like, "I've said it's not. It wasn't just Cristiano who left. It was a good few people. Stop making it about Ronaldo." And he's like, "All right," and then tried throwing another question. And he was just like panicking. Absolutely love it from the manager. Handled that like a boss. I'm going to throw you lads some quick fire questions, and people in the chat as well get involved with this. Put your answers in the comment section. So, tomorrow's game, will we keep a clean sheet, yes or no?
No.
No.
No. Okay. Will Ronaldo start the game tomorrow, yes or no?
Will he start? Yeah. Should he start? No.
Oh, interesting. So you both agreed on the first two?
Yeah.
Who will have more possession, United or Brighton?
United.
51 to
That's
49.
three. Both agreed on 3. Who will be man of the match tomorrow? Wow. That's worrying if he's fucking man of the match tomorrow. That is worrying.
Ericsson.
And where do you think Brighton will finish the season?
9th.
13th.
13th. I agree with Sam. I think they'll drop a little bit down just because of the players that they've
Wait,
lost.
do you want to answer the questions as well, Nick?
Yeah, I can do. So, clean sheet tomorrow. I don't think we will. Will Ronaldo start? No. I think he'll go with Elanga, Rashford and Sancho, bring him on in the second half. Who will have more possession, United or Brighton? I think it'll be 50-50.
At home? Really? Old Trafford?
Yeah. I think it's going to be a difficult game tomorrow. I said it'll be a draw. I think maybe 60-40. I'd got to lean towards United.
That's what I'm saying. I'd say 60-40.
55-45, somewhere around that. I don't think it'll be dominating possession anyway.
No.
Who will be man of the match? I mean, Ronaldo could come on, bag 2 goals and get it, so I'll just say Ronaldo. And where do you think Brighton will finish the season? I agree with you, didn't have 13th in the league. Time for the famous predicted 11s, our very first one of the season for tomorrow. I'll do mine very quickly if you don't mind, guys.
Yeah,
and then I'll ask you for yours. David De Gea in net, Diego Dalot to start, Maguire and Lisandro as a centre-back partnership. I think Luke Shaw will start. I don't know why, I've just got this feeling Luke Shaw will. But I'm happy for Malacia to start because I think he's looked really good pre-season.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a midfield of Eriksen, Fred and Bruno. And then I think Sancho, Rashford and Elanga will start. As a side note as well, do you know what's funny? When I was doing my notes before, obviously I had it from the last game of the season, from when was it Palace we played the last game of the season? Yeah. And literally all I've done to my predicted 11 team was just take 2 names out and replace it with 2. So, yeah. I know. Again, highlighting our incompetence in the market. Give me your predicted 11 then, Sam, if you can.
Well, I'll go through what I think he'll do, but I'll also say what I think he should do instead. Like, so obviously David De Gea starts because, like, Tom Heaton's not going to start, is he? I think it'd be Dalot because obviously Wan-Bissaka's not really featured in things, so it should be him. I think he'll start Martinez and Maguire. Yeah. But I think if Varane's fit, he should do Martinez and Varane. But I don't know if Varane's fit or not. But I think it's going to be Martinez, Maguire. I think Malacia starts. I think that's the right choice. I think he starts. I think he's going to start McFred, which I'm going to absolutely have to do something stupid because I can't believe we're going into another season with McFred as our starting midfielder.
It's so crazy.
Unbelievable. Like, and again,
we couldn't believe it last season, Sam. Do you remember? Yeah. Last season we was like, oh, I can't believe we're starting the season and we're doing it again a year later. Like what?
I think we should do a show once the transfer window closes and do a review of our transfer window because I want to get into a full rant about the state of this, but it's not the time or the place right now. So yeah, I think McFred starts annoyingly. For me, I'd start Eriksen, Fred and Bruno, but I think it's going to be McFred, Bruno. I think it's going to be Rashford, Sancho and Ronaldo, but it should be Rashford, Sancho and Garnacho. That's who I would start.
Okay, interesting. Shreyas, give us yours.
I think, of course, David De Gea in net. I would go with, what I want to see. I've been, just to let you know. David De Gea in net, Diego Dalot at right back, Varane and Martinez as a centre back pairing. And I would want Malacia to start because in pre-season he's just looked like this energetic. He's like a ball of energy. Actually he's so rapid. He controls that left hand flank so well, and whoever is playing in front of him actually ultimately has a good game because even if the left winger loses the ball, he's so near. He's so he's so aggressive as well while he's tackling that he's ultimately able to win the ball back and we are able to apply the pressure quite well. So that's why I would pick Malacia over Luke Shaw right now. Except that I think he could go with Fred, Donny and Bruno. And we might, or maybe Fred, Donny and Eriksen. Yeah. And maybe someone of Bruno or Eriksen might function off the wings. The only reason being I'm not too sure whether Elanga is up to it for the first game of the season at Old Trafford because he hasn't really done that great in pre-season as well. If you have to compare him to...
Sorry to cut you in. Would you rather start Garnacho or Elanga?
Garnacho all day.
Garnacho. I think Garnacho he's more natural on the ball. And right now what we want of the wings is more smartness rather than athleticism. I think Elanga, when it comes to his athleticism, he's really, really good. He's a very, very good runner on the ball. What he lacks right now is the ball playing ability.
He's finishing as well. Garnacho's finishing is outstanding. He's such a good finisher. Whereas I don't think Elanga's got that in his locker. I don't think he's got clinical finishing.
Right now I would even pick Hannibal over Elanga because at least Hannibal, he moves around a lot. Whenever he's on the pitch, he puts out a lot of effort on the pitch.
Shit out of players as well, doesn't it?
Guaranteed booking that, innit? Guaranteed yellow card.
But yeah, I think Eriksen or Bruno might function of the wings. So for me, I would say Eriksen, Ronaldo, and Sancho, and then we could have. I think having that does provide at least provides us with at least something off the bench, some depth of the bench. Because if we pull out Rashford, Sancho, and Ronaldo in the first 45 minutes of the game itself, it just leaves us with Eriksen on the bench. And for me, that isn't that convincing as I would say. We've got Rashford on the bench as well. We've got someone like Donny on the bench as well, or Fred on the bench as well. So I think what we need right now is smart working with the squad. At least we have a couple of options, because considering we've got 5 subs in the season right now, at least we should have someone to bring on
Yeah.
to actually
We
provide
haven't
some
got
energy.
we haven't
Because
got
all
the
the other
depth.
squads are going to be using it.
We haven't got the depth though.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I feel like the 5 subs benefits more teams like Man City, who've got world class players in every position, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be interesting to see who gets cameos tomorrow if any young players start. Drop your predicted 11 if you can as well, guys, in the chat. Let us know who you think's going to start tomorrow. Just a quick update on the current games at the minute, 'cause it's half time. Spurs are now winning 2-1. They scored 2 goals. Eric Dyer and Sessegnon scored.
DL.
Newcastle and Forest are still 0-0. Leeds have equalised, so it's 1-1 there at Wolves. And Bournemouth are beating Aston Villa 1-0 still. The club from Butlins, as we mentioned on the preview on Thursday. Now, time for score predictions, even more interesting, and goal scorers. This is a tricky one, really tricky one. I'm going to say 2-2. I feel like Ronaldo will come on and get a goal, but I still feel like we're going to be weak in the transition, and Brighton are very good on the ball. They're going to create chances as well. So I'll go with 2-2 at Old Trafford to start Eric Ten Hag's first game off. Sam?
Yeah, I agree. I was gonna go 1-1 or 2-2, but 2-2, like that's what's clicked in my head.
Yeah.
Danny Welbeck scored for Brighton. And then Sancho and Bruno for United.
Okay. I hope Sancho starts tomorrow, because he looks so
Yeah.
bright in pre-season.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shreyas, score predictions, goal scorer.
I think 3-1 to United, just because it's the first game of the season and it's a home game. So I think we'll at least have some edge over Brighton in that way, at least more energy from the stands itself. But except that, I think for us, I think Sancho will score twice, and we could be seeing an Eriksen goal as well. Except that for Brighton, I think Trossard is going to score. I think at least against us, he tends to have a good game every single time he's come up against us. So I think Trossard will score for them, and 3-1 the scoreline.
Perfect. That is the preview complete, guys. Let us know your score predictions as well in the comment section, how you see the game playing out as well. The match is live tomorrow. Kickoff is 2 o'clock, and of course we'll be live with the team news about 45 minutes beforehand. So make sure you join us for that one. Click the notification bell so you don't forget. Sometimes when I'm on YouTube, completely forget about certain shows. So if you click the notification bell, it'll come up with a reminder of when we're going live. Thank you to all the guys watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please click that button. We're trying to hit 350 mark before United kick a ball tomorrow, so that'd be amazing if we could do that. Like the video, follow us on socials as well. All the socials are below for regular transfer updates, content schedules, weekly lives, and entertaining clips on TikTok. Just type in Real Reds Talk on any platform and you should be able to find us. Sam, thank you for joining me. I appreciate your time and analysis as always. Shreyas, you're a legend. It's been a pleasure, and hopefully we can start the season off tomorrow, lads, with a massive bang. Let's see what happens. Thank you for watching, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow for the game. Adios.
Peace.